So we all have that game that we kind of found when we got older, but reconnected us to our childhood. I don't know if you guys have that kind of game. For me, obviously, I'm a big Pokemon nerd, but there are some games I never played when it was kind of coming out. And one that was the old school Game Boy games, Game Boy Advance and GameCube. I'm going to be talking about GameCube today. I bring this up because it's kind of topical. Nintendo just added the GameCube to NSO. Not only that, but they announced that they are adding Pokemon Colosseum and XD to the NSO eventually. My guess is probably in 2026. Makes the most sense. It's after Legends ZA. It might be Christmas time even, or it might be for the 30th anniversary in February, which should be hopefully pretty huge. Now, I don't know if you guys can tell, this is clearly Pokemon Colosseum for one, and it's Japanese. These are way cheaper, let me tell you, way cheaper than getting an English copy right now. And I'm hoping that the GameCube Online fixes that. Now, why I bring this up is because I love XD. It's so much fun. I love the Generation 3. I spent like 160 hours getting a Pokédex, which is linked in the description below. I got a Living Dex generation, one of the toughest generations to get a Living Dex in. But I did it, and so I love these games. But the NSO kind of worries me a little bit. So why does the NSO worry me? Well, let's take a look back at some of the other games that are on NSO and how they interact with, say, Pokemon Home and the other Pokemon games. Well, it's a very short list. We have Pokemon Stadium 1 and Pokemon Stadium 2. Typically, you use a transfer pack to transfer in Pokemon. I remember vividly, about 2 years ago, 2.5 at this point, there was this big movement where people thought the Game Boy games were gonna get Pokemon Red, Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Yellow, and it was gonna interact with Pokemon Stadium. That never ended up happening actually, which was a bummer because it's a huge missed opportunity. I bring this up again because I was just playing Pokemon Stadium on the NSO with some of my friends, and playing the mini games is fun, but you miss a huge part of Stadium if you're not able to actually put in your own Pokemon. And I kind of had conflicting feelings about that with Pokemon XD and Pokemon Colosseum. Big distinction though, big distinction, is in Stadium you can't catch your own Pokemon, so it's not like you're developing any kind of connection, while in XD and Colosseum you absolutely catch your own Pokemon. So you have some Pokemon to play with in the natural ecosystem, right? You've got about 60 in XD and probably another 50, I think, in Colosseum. So you got a little bit of a range of Pokemon to kind of catch up and train, but it's vastly inferior to having the whole generation at your fingertips with Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Fire Red, Leaf Green. Now, one of the reasons, again, I just wanted to ramble about this because I really like XD a lot in Colosseum, so I really hope they integrate them into Pokemon Home. A little bit of a conversation. I thought the infrastructure wasn't set up for that. I thought it was going to be difficult. Turns out, like I said, around 2023, 2022, people did a little bit of digging when we thought that the Game Boy games were going to be coming out at NSO. And the functionality is kind of already baked in. It's quite incredible, to be honest. So I'm looking forward to XD in that aspect of getting to play one-on-one a little bit, but I'm not looking forward to the fact that I'm not going to have the whole generation. It's kind of a bummer. Not to mention, something that's really big is that because you can catch your own Pokemon in these games, there might not be any home compatibility, right? Which may be why they're holding off. They're trying to get that figured out. But there is a chance that you catch them and they're just stuck there. I really hope not. I really hope that there's a way to transfer out of XD and Colosseum into Home. Otherwise, again, I feel like, again, Stadium 1 and Stadium 2 were these big things on NSO for a little bit, but then people realized, well, there's no transfer pack, and it's cool to go through these, all these cups and the mini games, but it's just not the same feeling as, slapping in your own yellow or red or blue and getting to play through the entire like stadium with those Pokemon you caught in those Gen 1 games. So I really hope that they add that. I really hope that they add some sort of compatibility layer, some way for it to be compatible, so that way I can take Pokemon from Fire Red Leaf Green, play with them in XD and Coliseum, or the best solution is adding Fire Red Leaf Green, Emerald Sapphire Ruby into NSO. That's a whole different conversation. I hope it happens, or they do a Pokemon Classics, but if they're adding XD and Coliseum to GameCube, I feel like they're not going to do any kind of Pokemon collection at this point. Of course, it's a little different. Genius Sorority developed, those games, not Game Freak, but I don't think that would conflict too much because it's still, managed by Pokemon Company, Game Freak, in collaboration with, so like, they get the final say. So I feel like this is hopefully the floodgates to like them getting all the extra games on there. I think it's not going to be for a little bit. They need to space it out. My guess, again, is February. I've got a real sneaking suspicion and hope that Gen 10 won't come out until not next Christmas, but 2027 Christmas. And they're going to fill that with adding the original games to NSO. Again, speculation. It's a fanboy's hope, but I really hope they do that. It wouldn't take away from current gen, because that's one argument that is fair, is if they add all these old generation games, make a multiplayer to where you can actually play with people really easily, what's the incentive to play these games that are kind of, Scarlet and Violet on Switch 1, half-baked, not very good? And I agree with that. Like, yeah, it doesn't make much sense unless it's during a break, in which case they want more subscriptions. Everyone's going to be kind of gamed out of those, and then Gen 10 gets announced, and then boom. But yeah, I just wanted to share that. Again, I was playing through XD a little bit, playing Stadium on NSO, and I just wanted to discuss how I really hope they don't mess up Pokemon XD. I love Pokemon XD. I love that generation. I love the GameCube on the NSO. I hope they add Melee, XD Coliseum, but I'm not expecting Melee. I'm just going to be real there. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Just another bit of rambling for me right now. A couple more videos in the pipeline. It'll be about once every week, maybe once every 10 days. It won't be as much as a gap as it has been. I've been in the mood to upload more videos. So yeah, and again, thank you so much for the support. Last video, it's like 2.5K views. Thank you. Another homebrew video maybe to come talking about that. So yeah, you guys have a great day.